So our first guest is a duo, so to speak, because they are um, author and illustrator of a book about Black Barbies, and so we're going to admit both of them so we can find out about their work. And um, Tony Benita, thank you for your comment. Um, so our two guests are Diane Johnson, and I guess she's got married, so she's Johnson Feelings. No, no, okay. So unmute so I can find out. If is it Diane
No,
Johnson or
it's just Dinah Johnson.
oh
Oh,
Dinah, Dinah. It
let
says
me change
Diane.
my name. Sorry, I'm gonna
Okay, are
change
you
my
under?
name.
So you have more than one identity. That's okay. A lot of us do. So, and then Kayla Mahaffey is the illustrator, and the book is Face to Face is behind you, correct? Dinah.
Yes, face to face.
Okay, and now is it about Black Barbies? That was the
No, no,
idea I
no, no,
got.
no.
It's not because it
That,
says
that's a
in Black
different book.
Barbies.
That's a different book. The book that Kayla and I did
Ah,
together is face to face.
okay, I got confused. Okay, all right. So, face to face, it looks like it's a boy and a girl, and so what is it about? What are they doing?
Well, I don't know if you wanna, how do you want me to take it? Okay, so coming up with like the concept, I know like Harper's Collins, they were like saying they wanted something that about like the connection of like children meeting each other, how to like socialize, and then like like making friends and all like that thing. So they wanted me to come up with like a concept for the cover to like show like two pairs coming together. It's like like seeing each other, becoming friends, being like greeting each other, and like so that's what we came up with. But we wanted everything to have like a little bit of color, have a little bit like joy, happiness. So I know I had to come up with something like, I have to have like flowers and like, just like, different like sunset stuff. So I did that first. But I know they said they wanted a connection. So I kind of put two different characters from the actual book and I had them like kind of meeting in the front. So it was like we went through a few concepts. I think one was like before it was like one kid on the front, one kid on the back. So when they opened the pages, like they'll like be facing each other. But they didn't that concept was kind of thrown out. They were like, let's keep it all on the front page. So that's what the final concept ended up being. So they wanted to know connection. So I was like, okay, they're gonna be staring at each other and looking at each other, greeting each other, smiling. Just giving like a good intro to like friendship. So yeah, that's what we came up with.
Well, it's the cover is beautifully done. And so you did the cover and the illustrations on the inside, I'm assuming. And so Dinah, now this you wrote the words for the book.
Right. I
So
wrote the words over 25 years ago. I,
okay, see, I
I
thought it was in relation to social media
Yeah.
and the fact that a lot of kids aren't, they aren't as social as kids were when I was growing up. Everything was outside. We were outside with our friends. So, you know, our social skills were strong because they had to be, but there wasn't any other alternative. And now kids are doing more swiping, scrolling, watching, playing games, and not really having as much face to face. And they're, from what I'm hearing from teachers, they're even challenged in terms of just knowing how to talk to their friends, to talk to their peers. So the 20 years ago, where'd your concept come from 20 years ago?
I actually spent about 2 weeks photographing children at my daughter's school. She was about 5 years old then. She's 31 years old now. And
Okay.
so it started with my writing text to go with the photographs, but obviously using Kayla's art was the right move.
Yeah.
But for all of you aspiring writers out there, or not even aspiring, practicing writers, don't ever throw anything away. Just wait until you find the right editor or the right time. So you're right. When COVID came around, Gwen, I thought, okay, this is perfect. We're wearing these masks. We have a new appreciation for for the human face and what we miss by
Mhm.
not seeing each other's faces. So that's when I pushed again to find um, a home for the book. And it's really about people looking in a very genuine way at each other and empathizing with each other and connecting, right? So what you're saying makes complete sense also, because I'm a teacher and I'll walk into the classroom sometimes and everyone's on their cell phone instead of interacting with each other.
Yeah.
So,
What grade level do you teach?
oh, I'm a college professor at the
Oh,
University of
okay.
South. Yeah,
Oh,
I
at the
teach
university
English.
level. Okay. All
I'm
right.
in I'm at
Well,
the University of South Carolina.
because I was hoping that elementary school kids weren't in their phones. They shouldn't have phones in the class.
Right, right, right.
I know we recently, I'm in Texas, and I think we passed a law about that at the lower levels. I know several states have because it's amazing what you think you can't do without when all the generations before you did without. They were fine.
Yeah.
So obviously you can do without it, and it's too much of a distraction. A teacher can't really get the students' attention if their face is in their phones. So, and how can they learn anything? And they should be concentrating on the subject at hand, what's being taught in the classroom. So, have you ever taught at the elementary, middle school, or high school level, or is all your teaching been at the college level?
For me, it's all been at college level, but I do lots of visits to schools. That's my favorite thing to do. And Kayla, I don't know if you've done any yet, but probably people will be calling you to do school visits.
I've done a few like little workshops here and there, and I just got asked to do a few more at a bookstore. So that's funny that you bring that up. And they want me to like teach the kids like do like little simple like art project stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I've worked with kids before, and they're always fun because kids are like funny, like they're so. So I'm looking forward to it. It's probably gonna be not like the end of this year, next year, because school's just started. So yeah, so
Right.
They're
Yeah, and
fun and they're honest.
yeah.
yes, they are honest, brutally sometimes, but
Yes.
they will tell you what they think and they will repeat what they've heard. And so parents need to be careful about what they say in
Yeah,
front of their kids because they will tell everybody
yeah.
what's going on. And if you don't want that necessarily known, then just be aware of that. So show us some of the pictures, Dinah, of the book. Show us.
Well, you know what?
um,
I'll let Kayla do that since she's the artist.
oh, okay. Well, there's some words too. So um, but yeah, that's fine if Kayla's doing the art.
Like this is like these are like just some of the like pictures that I painted. So I wanted to like I want the whole book to have like a feeling of like, I thought like what's the first place that I like would meet somebody like when I was younger, and I felt like a park, because I'm
Okay.
like I was always outside riding my bike, different things like that, and I'm like, that would be like the first place. So I was like, that's where my friends that I like were outside, like just like seeing different things like that, like new experiences.
Yeah, those beautiful illustrations. It's gorgeous work.
Yeah, so they're like,
And very lifelike.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So like I know I want to have something with like outdoors, like I said, because like I know kids don't get outside like that anymore. So like,
Mm-hmm.
to be like an experience of like, not only just seeing like meeting new people, but like new experiences outside. Like you might see like I think it was one page where like kids are looking at like a baby bird, different things like going outside, so, like playing outside, for flying kites, like different things, playing with frisbee with their dog. So I kind of wanted to have like an experience thing where it's just like not only focused on connecting with each other, but like connecting like even with like nature. So I kind of wanted it to be a whole thing, like just like a worldly thing, not just so like, of course, social is of course always important, but also knowing like to unplug for a bit, go outside, enjoy nature, and actually, experiencing life. Mhm.
So how did you two connect? Was the publisher
Yeah,
connected you together? Is that what did you all
What
know
what
each
a
other
lot of people
beforehand?
But what a lot of people don't realize is that with most picture books, the editor acquires the manuscript first. That's a done deal. And then the editor and the art director hire the illustrator. So very often they don't even want the writer and the illustrator to talk to each other because they don't want somebody like me telling Kayla, this is what's in my head. You have to put what's in my head on the paper. They pride themselves on choosing an illustrator whose work will enhance and just match in a certain way, but bring something extra or something different, but something complementary to the words.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily want a literal
Yeah.
rendition of the words.
Right. Yeah.
And like
It's interesting that you talked about that because when you self-publish, which I'm a self-published author and I have 16 books and 6 of them are children's books. So I found my own illustrator, by going online through, I think Fiverr was one, and then freelancer.com was another one that I used. And when you do that, you tell them what you want on each, with each a batch of words, as the story flows, you give them direction. But some artists don't take direction, but I found if you give them direction, it's less expensive than if you let them like use their imagination. It could take who knows how long, and I've been charging you about an hour. So so giving them some direction is more efficient and more economical. But when you are with one of the traditional publishers, you're right. They do. Now I didn't know that they didn't necessarily want you all to communicate with each other, but they do take over your project when you sign with them.
I wouldn't say take over. I think it's a little bit unfair. I mean, they talk with you about it. For instance, I'm sure that there were ideas that I communicated to my editor that she relayed to Kayla. For instance, having the children from all different cultures,
Mhm.
of every skin color and different textures of hair,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
I love my African American literature. I mean, that's what I study as a professor. That's what I write about as a scholar, the history of Black children's literature. But I love that this book will, in a certain way, invite a larger audience into it because some people are really so close-minded that they look at a book and they say, oh, the cover has Black people on it. I guess that's only for Black children. That is so close-minded, and it deprives children of so many stories. And the children are open. It's mostly the adults who have hang-ups sometimes. But I think that's very special. And I think that Kayla did such a beautiful, beautiful job of portraying people, children from all walks of life.
She did, and that's something that uh people, Caucasian people, take for granted, that the white people on a cover of a book is the default.
yes. Hmm.
And that's considered universal.
Yeah.
That's supposed to represent everything,
Right. That's like
everyone, and
deep
it does.
script.
but,
Yeah.
but that's what the standard is,
Yeah.
and that's and you're right. Their minds are closed because they're used to being the default, and so um, anything that differs from that can be challenging. That it takes work. It
Yeah.
takes an open attitude. Not everyone has that.
Especially in this era when all these books are being censored, whether they are controversial or not. So talking about this and sharing with our children is more important than ever because who knows what they have access to at school, right? So
Now, do you teach African American children's literature? Is that what you teach?
I don't teach only African American children's literature. I mean,
Okay.
a lot of my students are English majors or they're studying to be school teachers. But yeah, I don't teach only African American children's literature. I teach children's literature as a serious area of study. And some
Okay.
people don't understand that. They still call them kitty lit, call it kitty lit. I hate that phrase. Kayla, have you heard that phrase?
I heard this phrase before. Yeah,
Kitty litter.
It's really denigrating.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like
it's
they
like it's this is sort of like saying it's not serious, you know.
right. Yeah,
And it is because that's how all people learn to read as
right.
children. That's how they either are exposed to it or they're not exposed to it. And
That's why I think it's the most important literature. I'm prejudiced, but
like
well, and you have a point.
you know, and like it's
Well,
like even when like you said brought up like representation and everything, like I knew like even with the book, like even when kids like go past and they see it, like even kids don't like feel like they want to read something, they might like see like, oh, I see myself in this page. So then they want to pick up the book, they want to read it. And it gives them like a different perspective and like different like I said, walks of life. So like they get to see like people that they might see in everyday life and then they kind of want to connect with everything. So I think that's they say it's kind of good to have like the beginning stage to be something that represents them. Yeah.
well, you know, that happens even into adulthood as far as people not, if they see Black characters on the front of an adult book, they'll
Yeah.
think it's not for them.
Yeah.
So that attitude carries on through life. That whole default thing is real.
and good
And
literature is for everybody. It
yeah,
somebody different people might get different things out of a given piece of literature, but good literature, good art is for everybody.
Yeah.
yes, and people need to learn about other cultures,
Mhm.
um, other than just theirs, and even within um, their culture is stratified. It's not all, everybody's not the same. So um, we still are having a lot of work to do, even in 2026,
Yeah.
with expanding people's minds about reading books. And so we just have to keep working on it. Now, Kayla, how long have you been an illustrator of books? And then
Yeah.
what age did you start drawing? Like at what age were you like compelled? And I have a stepson that's an artist, and it shows up very early.
It was
So
very
yeah, so
good.
I was wondering how old were you when you
I
knew
was
you?
like I hate to say like when I always use the when I like learned how to walk and like pick up a pencil, that's when I started drawing. But that's literally once I
Yeah.
so I was really young. I have to be I don't even say like maybe 5 or 6. When I would ask my parents, like, oh, can you give me some crayons? Can you like give me like paper? So they would have like stacks of like construction paper and I would go through like crayons. They would buy me every year with those big, I don't know if you remember those giant kits with like
Yeah, I do. I
acrylic.
do.
Yeah,
I did. When I was in my teens, I dated an artist,
yeah,
and I gave him one of those for Christmas,
yeah,
like all of the art things. This
yeah.
years ago when I was in high school. So anyway, so I am familiar with it
Yeah,
because of that, you know, and also my stepson's daughter is an artist, you know, so I've given her some things. I gave her this case. I bought it on Etsy, I think, like
yeah,
an art case where you put your crayons and pens, and
yeah,
it was personalized. It had her name carved in it.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm familiar with the art,
Yes, I
but
like
it shows up. You know, children's talents show up early
oh, very early. So I
what
was
they're compelled to, what
enough.
they're really their genuine talent is.
Yeah,
Normally, before age 6.
yeah, yeah. Usually it is. Yeah. So I was fortunate enough to have like parents that really like supported it because there's some people who have parents who like that's it's no money in that, don't do it. So they were always for it. They supported me all the way through. I went to school for it for a bit. But I left because I started doing it full time. So I was like in college and I was like started doing like solo shows or doing like group shows around the city in Chicago. So once that happened, I kind of like left. I left college and like started doing art full time. And then after that, I've been an artist ever since. So it's almost been like about, like almost have to be 10 years, so maybe like nine, almost like 10 years, and 9 to 10 years, like of doing like art full time. Like, so I've quit my job and I've just been doing like, so I've been doing mostly gallery work and then I'll occasionally do like illustration. So I was actually supposed to be an illustrator, but then I started making most of like my funds and money from the gallery world. But I'll do like here and there, I'll go in and out and do an illustration here and there. I've done like a little few things for like advertisements, marketing, and like different like companies. And then this is actually, I've been wanting to do a children's book for a year. That was actually what I went to school for. So I put it off forever, but I'm finally doing illustrating my first one with Dinah. So I'm finally here. So hopefully I'll do more in the future, but this is my first children's book. Yeah.
Well, you did a phenomenal job, so you shouldn't have any problem getting some
Yeah.
more budget at all, at all. So, Dinah, uh, have you done other books, other children's books, or other types of books, or is this
Yeah,
your
I've done
first
quite a
book?
few children's books.
Oh, you have?
So,
Okay.
yeah, so one of the recent ones that's really beautiful, I don't have it sitting right here with me, is called H's for Harlem, and it's just an amazing Harlem alphabet. So
You
each
know,
entry is really long because how can you just match one letter with one thing? So it's really a beautiful tour through Harlem, and it's illustrated by the amazing April Harrison, who is also from South Carolina. And I'm really excited that I have a poem in this book. It's called This Is Not a Small Voice, Poems by Black Poets. And it's um, edited by Tracy Todd and illustrated by Jade Orlando. But one of the things that's a thrill for me, I have a poem on this page, and it's facing a poem by Gwendolyn Brooks.
Oh,
So,
oh,
so
wow.
you can imagine that that is the biggest thrill for me.
yes.
Yes.
So folks, go out and find this. It's just a really beautiful collection of poetry. And then in January, what I have coming out is
Okay, that's
Black
the Black
Barbie,
Barbie.
the story of Kitty Black Perkins. So some of you may have seen the Netflix movie of the same name, Black Barbie. And I didn't want the book to be called that, but it's a marketing decision. So
Mhm.
Gwen,
Yeah.
as you said, there's some things that are out of your hands. So Barbie's on the front instead of this is Kitty who's on the back. So for those of you who aren't familiar with her, for close to 30 years, maybe 27, 28 years, Kitty Black Perkins was the head clothing designer for Mattel. So she was designing all those beautiful clothes that those dolls wear. And she was a Black woman from South
Oh,
Carolina. Um,
wow. So,
yeah,
and
and she's
see,
in
this is
her
people
late
in the
70s.
background. You
Pardon?
know, it's like we find out about people who are in the background that are doing all kinds of things that are so universal, but we don't know them until I'm glad that you're bringing her to light because that's important for people to know.
Won't take credit for bringing her to light, but I'll take credit for spearheading this project. And like, yeah, we need a children's book about her, so I'm happy about that.
Well, it's bringing to light people who didn't know about her, which includes me, and I'm well read. So, I can't read everything, but just it's kind of like hidden figures. It's
Right,
like all these things happen, and then you find out there's a black person behind them, and also a black woman behind them. So
right.
um, that's an amazing thing. Now, your book, Ages for Harlem, interestingly, I'm familiar with that book because I bought it. I have we had a bookstore for 10 years. We have I have one customer from like 20 something years that buys books from us like every week.
Mhm.
She
Wow.
lives in Harlem. She's been doing it for over 20 years. She doesn't have any children of her own, but she donates books to libraries and schools, and she has, nieces and nephews. Well, anyway, your book, Ages for Harlem. She lives in Harlem. So she bought that book to give to some of her nieces and nephews. So I didn't realize it was you till you just said it. But your book is making the rounds. So, and it's a very nice book. She loved it. She raved about it. So, and she's been living in the same. Now, are you from Harlem?
Me?
Yes.
No, I live in South Carolina. I was born in South Carolina. My father, both of my parents were from South Carolina, but my dad was an army officer. So we lived all around the world. We lived in Iran in the days of the Shah. We lived in Germany twice, and we lived in 8 or 9 of the United States. But then I came back to South Carolina. I graduated from high school in South Carolina, and I've been
Okay.
teaching at the University of South Carolina for 36 years.
Oh, okay. Well, because you did a book, Ages for Harlem, I thought maybe you were from Harlem.
No, I love Harlem. So I've been
Yeah.
going to Harlem for years before I did the book. Because I can imagine someone saying, "What's she to write this book about Harlem?"
Yeah.
But I love Harlem, and April and I both did extensive research.
Okay. Because she's on lived on the street called Edgecombe Avenue in Harlem for 60 years. She's lived in the same co-op for 60
And
years.
Edgecombe Avenue is in the book.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And the building she lives in is a building where like the famous people from the 50s and 60s and 70s or used to either live there or stay there or visit there or and so she'll go back in the past. When she calls to order a book, I get a little history lesson about something that happened in Harlem.
Yes.
Because she's 80, I want to say 85 now. So, but she buys books. She calls actually literally almost every day.
Thank you to everybody who buys books.
And she believes in books. I mean, and it's amazing just how much she invests in books when she doesn't have her own children. She's never been married, but she sends books overseas,
Mhm.
different countries in Africa. She'll send them to schools in Africa. So she just really loves books. Well, we're at the last minute of our interview. And so, how do we know the book is available wherever books are sold? But if people want to connect with you, Dinah, and you, Kayla, how do they do so online? Social media is where people are congregating. So, how do they connect with you there?
They can find me at Kayla May _art or KaylaMahaffey.com. Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Dinah?
DinahJohnsonBooks.com. I'm not a good social media person, I admit. But I did post today on Instagram about our book birthday.
Send mine through the newsletter. So people have been showing me their books that they bought. So that's good. We're getting
Yeah, this is good. You can't immerse yourself in every single platform.
yeah.
You can't spread yourself
And
too thin.
Kayla's part of this generation. And I want to say that Kayla is really beautiful. I feel so great about our partnership. I'm in my 60s. You're much younger. So it's really nice for the generations to do something together.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you all, thank you for being guests on the show and continued success with your work.
Yes. So thank you so much. It was
Thank
nice.
you for having us.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
Thanks, Dinah.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.